Joe Biden is also still apparently thinking possibly about bringing a Republican into his cabinet. He's, according to Axios, they're thinking possibly about someone like Meg Whitman for Commerce Secretary as a way to signal to red state Americans that he understands their concerns and plans to address them. Okay, so now the good thing is that further into the article, they say that some of his confidants believe that there's no long-term benefit. And I would say even in that very specific thing that they said, like MAGA heads are not like, I don't like Biden, he's a plant of the Communist Party, but if he picks Meg Whitman for commerce, suddenly I'll be paying attention. That's, I don't think that's how literally a single voter anywhere around the world actually thinks.
No. Agreed, John.
But he is considering it. Do you think, well, what do you think at this point? So far, we've, I guess, been lucky. We've only gotten sort of centrist conservative Dems. We haven't necessarily gotten the people that we want in most of these positions, but so far there hasn't been like a Kasich or anything like that.
Yeah, so far. Do you expect that though? Because I don't know now. Because you think it would have happened early because he's trying to pacify the folks that are mad about the results of the election, all that stuff. So if he does it later, again, this is, it's the one thing people said about Joe Biden and his decades in politics is it's a routine in any job you've had, from McDonald's to being president, I think, or even definitely being a senator. It's a routine you go through. So, we got to start appointing people. Let's do what we've always done. Yeah, we'll appoint the guy who helped me here, and we'll appoint this other guy who got popular here because it's going to help me on a broader scale. You have to promote yourself and present yourself as the most roundabout person. So he's talking about this Republican that he's going to put on because he wants to garner more support. Who knows if he really will do it? But it could have just been a media tour at that point. Who knows?
Yeah, I think that there is still very much a chance because it is such a core part of who Biden is politically, is the desire to bring in a Republican to show that he can reach across the aisle or whatever. And I think that in the Axios article, they're talking about the possibility of somebody for commerce, bringing in some CEO or something like that. I think that there's a good chance of that, both because of who Biden is, and also I feel like the vast majority of people that any Democrat would consider for commerce might or might not technically be Republicans, but are probably going to be pretty in line with the way Republicans think about business. So I think that there's a good chance of that. We'll have to see. I agree with his confidants who say that they say aside from short-term media benefit, that there's no long-term benefit. I would go a step further and say CNN will be like, hey, the era of bipartisanship, you'll get like 10 minutes of that. You're not gonna get even short-term media coverage from the right that's positive. That's just not gonna happen. The only people that they think that Mitch McConnell's a rhino at this point. Who would Biden be able to pick for his cabinet that they wouldn't consider more proof that the Republican Party is in bed with the Democrats and they both need to burn? I can't think of anyone, I don't think.
Yeah, no, it's again, the fact that Joe Biden and many Democrats always feel like they have to be the one to unite folks around folks that have no interest in uniting anywhere near you. It's you're spinning your wheels. Like you're offering olive branches to people who've got like garden shears. They're cutting them. They don't care. And eventually they're gonna cut it long enough and it's gonna get to your hand, bro. And they don't care. They're not here to unite with you. So when Donald Trump came in, I said this many times. How many people interviewed him and said, so we saw your inauguration speech when you said I alone can do this and run this country and take care of you. No one else can do it but me. And then during this 4 years, he talks about how blue states, who cares if they weren't involved in this country? That like there's so much division. Everyone knows the stories of the division of Donald Trump. And immediately before he's even literally out of office, the next guy has to come in and talk about how he's going to unite these people who've got guns and knives and fire in the streets over the last weekend. What are the words somebody's gonna say to unite them?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's nothing. That's a great point. And what did Trump do? I mean, you would like there was very little pressure for the guy who lost the popular vote to reach out to the other side, the side that was larger than his side. Biden won in a landslide, according to Trump, and by like far more than 7 million votes. But the expectation will be that when it comes to cabinet positions, theoretically, when you're picking judges, better not pick any crazy libs or anything like that. Yeah. And in terms of legislation, you're gonna have to bring some Republicans on board. Like the Democrats don't get to win. Maybe they'll win, maybe against all odds they'll win, but they don't get to win, not fundamentally. They don't get to be winners in politics. And they also coincidentally don't act like it.
Yeah, you have to be sorry for winning. It's like, after you win a game in sports, you have to be like, oh, the other team played well. When you know what they were actually saying on the court, the basketball court in this particular instance, they were cussing each other out, talking about each other's families, saying and just demeaning each other. And then when you actually win, you have to go to the media and say, yeah, I respect the other team. No, you didn't. You didn't respect the other team for that whole time you were playing because you're competing. Like, why do you have to give that BS reason? It's disingenuous, and sadly enough Americans believe that it's real.
Yeah.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.